Hey, what's up, guys? Appreciate you tuning in. Today, I want to make a post about my car. I know in one of the last videos I had said that I've gone through a couple of cars, but my most recent purchase was about a year ago, and I ended up buying a Porsche Panamera Turbo. For those who aren't familiar, it does have a 4.8 liter V8 twin turbo engine. It does have stock 500 horses to the crank. I do have big plans for it, but unfortunately, one of the deals that I made with my better half said keep it stock for a year. Dun dun dun. But that year is over, so hey, it's go time. But I did want to give some honest feedback in terms of what I thought about the car. So here goes nothing. So let's start with the exterior part of the car. You know, I get a lot of mixed reviews on this particular car from people. People either love it or hate it. Especially when I talk to some of the other Porsche enthusiasts out there, you know, it gets a lot of shade because, you know, it's a four-door car and it's big and it doesn't handle corners like the traditional 911s or any of the other two doors. But quite frankly, I'm one of the guys who loves the look to this car. The front end looks like a traditional Porsche, while the back end is a little unconventional, but I still like it a lot. Now, in full transparency, without that wing up, it does not look as good. And the downfall is there's not a lot of aftermarket parts for the Porsche Panamera wing. You know, it's kind of like, this is what you get. But it's got some 295s on the back. It's got 255s on the front as far as wheels. So you got that nice wide look. And also with the air suspension, stock on this particular model car, it does have air suspension, and you can adjust the height that you want the car to be at as well. This particular height that you're seeing is the lowest suspension mode. It is sports suspension, so it is a lot stiffer. For as big as the car is, and for as heavy as it is, I am very, very, very surprised that it handles as well as it does around corners, though. But in terms of the pure outside, and you probably can't see it in the video, but it is a little dirty. It rained yesterday here in Texas. As far as the outside of the car, I can't complain, man. I think this is a sexy looking car, and I speak not only for the 970, which is this particular model, but all the way up to the new year models. So, yeah. All right, let's do the interior. Guys, I'm not gonna lie, for a 2011, I was really impressed with the technology that's built into this car and with the overall capabilities of this car. Now, I do want to go over some of the things that suck. So I'll start off with that, because overall I do like the car. I've already said that, and I will go through some of the features on the console as well. But the one thing that sucks is, if you notice, my check engine light is on. This is like the third time that's come on. I've taken it in to get it fixed. I have been told by Porsche forums that, at least with this model, that is expected. Now, if for those out there who are like, that's not true, I've never had any problems with my Porsche Panamera Turbo, that's great. I've just heard from the forums that this car is very finicky whenever it comes to the CEU, and if anything is off, it will trigger that. Now, fortunately, I think I know what's wrong with it, and it shouldn't be that big of a deal. It has not affected the performance of the car, but long story short, from my understanding, if that light pops on, it's not out of the ordinary. Also, the TPMS, I know what's going on with that. I got new tires. They couldn't sync up the monitors to sync with the Porsche ECU, because apparently you need special TPMS monitors, and I wasn't going to pay the dealership $525, so that way they can tell me whether or not I have a flat tire. I'll just use my tire gauge for that. So with that said, let's jump to the center console. Lots of buttons. That's one of the more impressive things that I thought anyway when I first got in the car. Kind of reminds me of like the whole C8, console. But to break it down for you, this right here, you can control both sides, air temperature and how hard you want the air to blow. This right here is going to control your seat. So it's got the seat warmer, the seat cooler, and then you can also control where you want to be sitting in the seat. So if you want to slide up, down, left, right, and it does the same thing for the other side. These buttons down below are a little more unique and just specialized to the actual car. So It does have a normal mode, which it's in right now. It has sports mode and sports plus. This right here is what's going to control your dampening of the ride. So if you want it to be stiff or if you want it to be more plush, the more lights that are on, the harder the car gets. If it's on the second setting as well, it will also control the ride height. So whenever it's on sports, which is 2 lights lit up, it does lower automatically to the lowest. It'll go outside. This too also controls the ride height, which if you want to control the ride height without affecting the stiffness, this is where this button would come in. Traction control, obviously, auto on and off start. This button right here, I can control whether or not I want the exhaust, sports exhaust, to be loud or soft. This one does the privacy viewing for the back window, and this right here does the wing. I don't know if you can see it, but boom, I can go in with it. And like I said in the earlier video, I always keep it out because, quite frankly, I think it looks better. That also, too, if you just leave it on, I think at 65 miles an hour, it will automatically turn back on. I also want to point out that the carbon fiber that you're seeing in this car is not stock. Stock, it comes with almost like it looks like a forged carbon fiber, but it's plastic. Luckily, I have a buddy of mine that's in the carbon fiber business, and he hooked me up with this awesome kit. So Lambo, shout out to you at Carbon Candy. I appreciate everything you've done for me, man. Now, as far as the technology goes, dude, it's got, for 2011, it's got the navigation, it's got the maps, it's got the Bluetooth, it's got the reverse camera in the back. It's also, this car comes with a sports chrono package. Back in 2011, brand new off the lot, this car was $155,000. Would I buy this car for $155,000? No, not even back then. But then again, if you have $155,000 to drop in a car, probably not worried about cost. But with that said, it does have different variations of what you want the cluster to look like, specifically with maps or sports chrono. See, my tire pressure monitor, screw that, I'll just use my regular thing. But overall, it gives you everything you need right here. So it's all in the, this is the one I keep it on right there. It tells me all my gauges, what I need to know. But overall, the car has a lot of space in it. I have a family of 4. Not that they always ride in here because I like to keep it clean, and my kiddos will dirty this out in a heartbeat. But long story short, it's been a really, really good car. One thing that I was not aware of, that just to let everybody know, these are kind of the downfalls. And one of them is my own fault, I know. Maintenance on this car is expensive. It is expensive. So if you're not prepared to pay what it costs to maintain a Porsche, or really any other German, I don't know, I can't speak for the Audis or, you know, any of the other higher end German cars, but it does cost a little more to maintain. For example, the dealership wants to charge like $500 for an oil change. No, thank you. I'll do it myself. Luckily, I found a shop that has been very good to me, and they're like half the price of the dealer. I would recommend that to any Porsche owner. Find yourself an individual shop that specializes in German automotive. It's going to save you a pretty penny. Also, earlier when I was saying the sports plus, if you're not in sports plus, this car at a stop starts in second gear. That took a little bit of getting used to, because you can almost feel like the clutch engage, almost like as if you're driving a manual car. The only time it will go into first gear is if you're in sports plus. So that's just something to think about. Has the paddle shifters. I don't know if I showed this earlier. It does have the paddle shifters in there. It has the telephone capability as well. All in all, I really do like this car. Even with the little things that I was like, oh, this sucks, I would purchase this car all over again. So if you're on the fence about this car, whether or not you want to, I would say just jump in the deep end. It really is a good car. You will come to love it. So if you like this video, hit the thumbs up, subscribe, and I'll talk to you guys later.